So what is explain about life cycle hooks? Okay, life cycle hooks in LWC. Okay, so by default, when you create a component, initiating the component, okay, at the time itself we have constructor. So when it will call when component is created. Okay, so when you, as soon as when you click on that LWC component itself, okay, it will call the constructor. Next one, connected callback. So when it will call when component is inserted to the DOM. When component is inserted into the DOM. What is DOM here? Okay, DOM is nothing but document object model in HTML. So we can say there will be a document object model. Okay, first what it will call, what are the different lifecycle hooks in LWC? Then what you need to tell: constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback, error callback. There are 5 lifecycle hooks. Okay, so third one are in rendered callback. So when it will call, so if at all, is there any UI changes? Okay, any UI changes, or if you call the external JS JavaScript libraries. Okay, libraries, at the time this render callback will call. Okay, if at all, is there any other changes available, so repeatedly this render callback will call. Okay, is there any UI changes? For example, if something is changed in the backend, at the time the data needs to be updated in the UI, it will call the render callback. And fourth one, disconnected callback. So when it will call, so when you remove the component from the DOM, okay, when you remove the component from the DOM, this, if you want to remove the component removed from the DOM, it will call. Okay, so when component is removed from the DOM, this disconnected callback will call. So at the time, if you want to remove some empty spaces, I mean data clearance, all those things, you can do it in the connected callback. Okay, and fifth one is error callback. So in the error callback, at any point of time, okay, at while component loading, if any error occur, it will call. Okay. For example, while loading the component, is there any issues on the child component? Okay. While loading, if you get any errors, this error callback will call. And same thing, when you loading the component also, if you get any errors, so this error callback will call, and component will not load. Okay, you will get the error message. అర్థమైందా? What are the life cycle hooks? Constructor, when component is inserted, constructor will call. When component is inserted into the DOM, connected callback will call. So what we'll do, while in the connected callback, we can do some parameter initialization. Okay. So here, if you want to pass any default parameters or initialization, parameter initialization, as well as if you want to call the apex class. Okay. So all these things we can do it in the within the connected callback. So in the render callback, if you need to change the any UI changes, that reactive changes, if you want to update, or if you want to update the JavaScript third-party JavaScript library CSS, you can use render callback. Okay. So you need to explain all these things: constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback, and error callback. While component loading, if any error occurs, it will call. When component is removed from the DOM, this disconnected callback will call. So any UI changes, or if you call any third-party JavaScript libraries, okay, at that time this render callback will call. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? And connected callback, when component is inserted to the DOM. Constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback, error callback. These are all about lifecycle hooks. So I will explain you how it will execute. Okay. And next one, wire. Okay, wire and imperative. Okay. So for wire method, so you can able to call the wire method is a reactive. It is a reactive property. Okay. And wire is a reactive property. So as soon as when component loads, it will fetch the latest data. Okay. So it will use @ RI enabled catchable equal to true. Okay, catchable equal to true. Okay. So in wire, we'll use @ RI enabled equal to true, and it is a read only. It is a read only. అర్థమవుతుందా? It is a read only. We cannot able to perform DML. We can't able to perform the DML. That means, what does it mean? By using, if any decorator, any apex method you mention @ wire, okay, it will not allow the DML statements. You cannot able to update, insert or update, okay, or delete. These operations you cannot able to perform the wire method by using. It is a reactive property. Will use @ RI enabled catchable equal to true. Sorry, RI enabled catchable equal to true. Okay, what does that mean? So always when you try to load the data, Initially it will get from the server side, later it will get from the cache instead of from the apex. Okay, again doing the server call, it will fetch from the cache. Okay, cache means it will hold, there will be a cache memory for LWC. Always the data will be stored in the cache. If at all is there any backend changes applicable, then only it will get the latest data from backend, until unless it will fetch the data from this cache memory. That is the meaning of cacheable. Okay, so that is the reason it is a read only. So just we can able to retrieve the data by using the wire method. Okay, అర్థమైందా? So what is imperative? Okay, what is imperative? It is a user friendly action. Okay, it is a user friendly action. Like you can able to just you mention @RI enabled method name you can use @RI enabled. That's it. Okay, we don't use catchable equal to true here. Okay, so it will call on button click. It will call on button click. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? It is a user friendly action. Method name we can use @RI enabled. It will call on button action. We can perform DML operations. Okay, and also we can able to customize the user messages. Okay, here we cannot able to, so whatever the Salesforce throw error, same thing you can display, but in terms of imperative call, it is a user friendly action. Method name you can use @RI enabled. When you click on button click, so you will call the apex. Okay, and do the DML operations. And also if at all is there any errors, you can able to display as per user experience. Okay, you can able to customize the message as per your requirement. This is in your user control. Always this will be in user, that is called, it is a user friendly action. Okay, so whatever the user want to display, he can perform by using the imperative. But in terms of wire, it is a reactive property. We are using catchable equal to true, and it is a read only method. Okay, just you can retrieve the data from apex, but you cannot able to perform any DML operations. Okay, అర్థమైందా? Wire key imperative, very important interview question. What is the difference between wire and imperative call? Okay, wire and imperative call. So another thing would be next one. And wire is a one of the decorator. Okay, @API one decorator, @track, @wire. These are what are all the decorators we have within the Salesforce. Then you can say we have decorators. What are the decorators in LWC? So what you can say, interview question this is @API. What is the use of API? Can anyone tell? @track, @wire. You can say about these three decorators. Okay, so what is the use of @API decorator?
Application programming interface.
Huh?
And
So if you want to pass the communication between parent to child, you need to use at the rate API. Okay. So what is the use of track? So track is used to, it's a reactive property. When any changes happen at J side, the latest data, it will show it in the UI. By default, variables are reactive in the JS. So for example, if you want to display the data from child component to parent component, at that time, will use other track. So mostly it will be available right now for any arrays, any object. Okay, object changes. Those will be, we can like at the rate track something, any object track used for object changes, array changes. Okay, and array changes. Okay, for example, from child component to parent component, if something, if we want to change, at the time we can use at the rate track to get the latest data. Okay, so array variables, object variables, you can use at the rate for single variables on the same component. No need to use a at the rate track. By default, LWC variables are reactive. Okay, and why, you know, right? So it's a reactive property. It will use at the rate are enabled catchable equal to true when component loads at the time itself. If you want to update or if you want to show the data, we can use at the rate wire. Okay, we cannot able to perform any DML operations by using wire decorator. Okay, and also always wire will have some reactive property. Always we can denoted with at the rate wire. Okay, reactive properties always use the dollar symbol. Okay, that means it's a reactive property. Okay, always use the dollar symbol. For example, if any changes in the ID, okay, you need to mention at the rate dollar symbol record.id. Okay, so likewise you need to, so that it will take the latest data. If any changes updated with respect to that ID, then it will automatically fetch the data from database and show it in the UI. Okay, అర్థమైందా? So these are about decorators. And what is LDS? LDS is nothing but lightning data services. Okay, lightning data services. So what is the use of LDS? So by using LDS, okay, we no need to write the apex code. Okay, if you use any LDS, okay, lightning data services, you no need to, we no need to write any apex code. So directly by using the simple JavaScript, okay, you can able to fetch the, by using LDS, we can able to create a record, we can able to create, update, delete records. By using, what we can do, we no need to write any apex code if you are using LDS. That is one of the advantage. And by using LDS, we can able to create or update, delete the records. Okay, so by using LDS, what we can able to perform, we can able to perform DML operations without writing any, without writing any apex code. Okay, and here what are all the different forms for? So one is lightning. So in the LDS, we need to use, we are using different forms, lightning form. Okay, one is lightning record form. Okay, one is lightning record form, lightning lightning record form, lightning record edit, lightning record edit form, lightning record delete, okay, lightning record edit form. So by using these forms, we can able to create or show the data in the lightning record edit, lightning record form. You can able to show the data by using lightning record edit form. You can able to create a record or edit a record, okay, without writing any apex code. Lightning record delete form, you can able to delete the record. Okay, అర్థమైందా? So what is the use of LDS? LDS is nothing but lightning data service. By using LDS, you no need to write any apex code. Okay, without writing any apex code, you can create a record, update a record, delete a record. So what are all the different forms available? Lightning record form, lightning record edit form, lightning record delete form. Okay, so these are all the forms that we are using within the LDS. Okay, so here now we'll check about lightning record form. Okay, no apex, no javascript, just you need to pass the record id. This thing is very important. Okay, if somebody asks lightning record form, what is the record id you need to pay, and which object you need to fetch. Okay, this is the syntax. So object api name also mandatory. అర్థమవుతుందా? Same likewise, we have lightning record edit form. You can see here. So unlike Apex, LDS, let's work with Salesforce record without writing any Apex code. Okay. So here you need to use get records element. Okay. So one more thing. So you need to use, you need to import the elements like get records, update records, delete records. So these are available within the LWC. So how do you call the apex from LWC? How do you call the apex from LWC? Okay, we need to import get accounts, okay, from, in single quotes, Salesforce slash apex class slash class dot method. అర్థమైందా? ఇలా ఇంపోర్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఇంపోర్ట్ గెట్ రికార్డ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ సేల్స్ఫోర్స్ స్లాష్ అపెక్స్ క్లాస్ స్లాష్ అపెక్స్ మెథడ్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ we can able to call the apex method. Okay, something update records, these are the same thing. import get records from UI record element. Okay, those are very important. So here the example is import get record from lightning UI record, lightning UI record. Okay, and lightning name field. So directly you can able to fetch the fields from the respective object also. Okay, that will be import name from @salesforce schema account dot name. Okay, these are by default it will be like this. Okay, so here we need to mention @. Okay, very important. If somebody asks, how do you get the field from the in JS file? Okay, import what is the name field, you need to mention the name of the field from @salesforce slash schema slash account dot name. For which object you are getting the field name, you need to do like this. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? So for @where method, I always you need to pass the dollar symbol. Okay, same for lightning record form, that is get record elements, and another one would be the lightning record form. So no apex, no javascript. Lightning record, lightning hyphen record dot form. Record id, what is the record id? In the current record id it will fetch. Okay, and what is the object API name? Okay, so for which object we are going to display this records? Okay, mode would be view. Okay, lightning record form. So the format would be like this. Always lightning record form will contain object record id, object name, and label type and mode. What mode you need to show, whether it is view mode, edit mode, delete mode. Okay, that you can mention. So another one would be lightning record edit form. So lightning record edit form, what are the fields that you have right now here in the object API name? Okay, here if you want to edit any field, you can use lightning input. Okay, always the button submit would be submit type. Okay, here no need to write any logic for the submit. Okay, directly you can able to create a record. అర్థమవుతుందా? లైట్నింగ్ రికార్డ్ ఎడిట్ ఫామ్లో జస్ట్ మనం ఏమి ఇచ్చాం, ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఏపీ నేమ్ ఓన్లీ అకౌంట్ ఇచ్చాం. అదే నువ్వు ఎడిట్ చేయాలంటే ఐడిని కూడా పాస్ చేయాలా. సో వెన్ టు యూస్ వాట్? సో హియర్ view record, get record, delete record, update record, record create, lightning record edit from for. So record creation key, either lightning record edit form will be useful for creation of record, editing a record. Okay, and one more thing is, so these are all the different difference between imperative and wire. Imperative is a user friendly, that means manual call. So while clicking on the button it will call. Imperative call always it's a manual action, like user friendly. When you click on the button, the action will perform, whether you need to create or update or delete, that actions will perform. That is what it's a wire is a automatic call, it is a read operation. Here imperative is a, by using imperative we can able to create, update, delete the records. So it supports for DML. It is where method is only read only catchable equal to true. So the return type of the imperative call is premises. The return type of the wire method is data or error. If any error occurs directly, so you will get the system error. Here we don't have any control in terms of wire functionality. Okay. So when to use this imperative function? Good for button clicks. Okay. Good for page load and reactive data. Okay. When loading the page, if you want to load some data automatically, we can go for wire method. Okay. So dollar symbol always, what is the meaning of dollar? It's a reactive property. Okay. Mm. So apex imperative call, right? Calling apex imperatively, what it will follow from LWC, apex, and database. Okay, this is the sequence. And then we discussed about this thing, right? Life cycle. Okay, so constructor. It is the first method to execute when component is created. When component created at the time itself, constructor will call, connector callback will call when component is inserted into the DYM. Okay, render callback runs after a HTML has been rendered. Whenever UI changes or this method execute again, or is there any external JavaScript files which are running? Okay, at the time also this render callback will call. Disconnected callback runs when the component is removed from the page. Okay, and error callback. So catches the JavaScript error from the child component. It acts like a error boundary for component hierarchy. That means while loading the component, if any error occurs, the same component or is there any child component error occurs, so entire propagation will be stopped. You cannot able to perform anything. Okay. So these are all about life cycle hooks. So life cycle hooks, apex, how do you call apex, and wire method, and lightning data services. Okay, all these three we covered as part of this LWC session. So now let me go to Salesforce. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా ఇప్పటి వరకు జరిగిన దాంట్లో?
లేదు.
క్లియర్గా అర్థమైందా? ఓకే, సి లైఫ్ సైకిల్ హుక్స్ అంటే అర్థమైంది. తర్వాత ఎల్డిఎస్, ఓకే, లైట్నింగ్ డేటా సర్వీసెస్. Lightning data services, we should not do any apex code. By using LDS, you can able to create a record, update a record, delete a record, and get records. Okay, all these things, 5 operations you can able to perform without writing any apex code. Okay, by using LDS. Okay, what is imperative, what is wire? Wire is a reactive property. When page loads, at the time by default, if you want to load the data, you can use wire method. It is a read only. By using wire method, you cannot able to perform any DML operations. Interview question: whether by using wire decorator are you able to create a record? This is one kind of interview question. No, we cannot able to perform any DML operation using wire method. So imperative method is a manual action, I mean like user friendly action. When button clicks, then only this action will perform. You can able to create or update or delete a record by using imperative call. User friendly messages that you can able to display as per user experience. Okay, so those things you need to tell definitely. So these are very important questions in the interview. Okay. So now let me discuss what are the life cycle hooks. Constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback, error callback. There are 5 life cycle hooks. Constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback, error callback. Very, very important question. Okay. So what I did, I created a one LWC component to show how the life cycle hooks will execute. I will show you. See, I created one component. So this is a life cycle demo component. Okay, just increase amount. This is one button I created. So there is a value of counter in the life cycle demo. In the JS file, I'm mentioned, okay, component ID. I mean, it will generate a random ID. So which one will call first, whether it is a constructor or connected callback, render callback. Okay, this is increase this method. Just when we click on that button, what it will do, it will increase the counter. It will increase the counter. Okay, and then disconnected callback. We'll see what is the execution of each and every life cycle hook. Okay, constructor, connected callback, render callback, disconnected callback. Here there is a method called increase. Okay, so when UI changes, what will happen? Okay, which callback, which life cycle hook will call also we can discuss here. Okay, that is the reason I put it here console logs. Okay, console log, so that we can able to print. So what is the sequence of each and every life cycle hook? Okay, so this is the life cycle demo. This is the child component. I used this component in the parent component. See here in the parent component HTML, there is a child component. Okay, sorry, what is that? This is the life cycle hook demo. Okay, I referred this life cycle demo component within the parent component, and I'm displaying. It will show only show child equal to true. Okay, what is the logic for the show child? So in the JS file, I mentioned show child variable by default true. That means when component loads, okay, when parent component loads, it will load the life cycle demo component data. Okay, for example, here when I click on toggle component is there, right? There is a one method. Okay, so what is the toggle component here in the JS file? So on click. Okay, when I click on this show hide lifecycle component, show hide lifecycle component, so it will call this particular method toggle component. Inside this toggle component, we have what we are showing. When I click on that button, show hide show child is, I'm making it as false. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? By default, when component loads, show child is true. When I click on this toggle component, what is the value of show child? అర్థమవుతుందా? నేను టాగుల్ కాంపోనెంట్ మీద క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు షో చైల్డ్లో ఏం వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది? ఫాల్స్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, దట్ మీన్స్ షో చైల్డ్ ఈక్వల్ టు, ఇక్కడ ఆపరేటర్ ఉంది కదా ఎక్స్క్లమేటరీ, దిస్ మీన్స్ ఫాల్స్. ఓకే, దిస్ డాట్ షో చైల్డ్ వాల్యూ షుడ్ బి ఫాల్స్. ఓకే, అర్థమవుతుందా? సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద లేటెస్ట్ వాల్యూ we are making this as so always it will get the value from show child. Okay, By default it will show it as true. When we click on this one, this show child will be make it as false. Okay, we are assigning the false value. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? For example, if next time I click what is the latest value, false, then the show child will have true. Okay, so I will show it to you how it will happen. We'll go to Salesforce. So here what I did in the account page, when I click on any account record, here I am displaying. Okay, there will be a show hide lifecycle hook. Okay, so when I inspect this in the console log, let me remove it from one place. The edit page. Just I'm removing here. I added two places. Okay, so what is this component? Parent component. In the parent component we called lifecycle hook. Okay, so just save it and come back. Now I'm trying to load this component. We'll see in the logs. Okay, what are all the values we are getting? Okay, for example, when we are loading this parent component, when this component loads in this page, okay, in the account record page, the parent component is loading. In the console log you can see so what it called first constructor, you can see, right? So here in the lifecycle demo, first what it was executed, first constructor, console log constructor. Okay, this value printed. Okay, constructor value printed. Next one, connected callback and rendered callback. So sequence లో వచ్చాయా? సో ఫస్ట్ టైం కాల్ అయింది కన్స్ట్రక్టర్, కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్, రెండర్డ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్. సీక్వెన్స్లో ఫస్ట్ టైం కాల్ అయింది కన్స్ట్రక్టర్, కాల్ అయింది కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్, కాల్ అయింది. ఓకే, వెన్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఇన్సర్టెడ్ into the DOM, at the time connected call back will call. Is there any UI changes? For example, here we are printing the count value. Okay, so this render callback also will call. Now you can see. So now when I click on this increase button, right, there will be a button inside child component. In the life cycle there is a increase button. Okay, so when I click on this component, what it will call? Always this render callback will call. It updates the value at the UI. అర్థమవుతుందా? So for example, if I click on next time also 2 times this render callback called. So you can observe, right, there is no disconnected callback when component loads. Okay, so component load అయినప్పుడు ఏంది, మనకు డిస్కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ రాలేదు, ఓన్లీ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ రెండర్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ మాత్రమే సీక్వెన్స్లో వచ్చాయి. ఓకే, అండ్ నేను ఏమన్నా ఫీల్డ్ అప్డేట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు, ఐ మీన్ చైల్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్లో ఏమన్నా అప్డేట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఏం జరిగింది, ఓన్లీ రెండర్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ మాత్రమే కాల్ అయింది. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో 3 times render callback called. Okay, any UI changes happened at the time, this render callback will call. And also if you have any third party JS libraries, at the time also render callback will call to update the latest UI changes on the HTML. So now you can observe there is no disconnected callback happened. Okay, so when is the disconnected callback will call, when component is removed from the DOM. That means, for example, here show hide lifecycle component. So where it is available, it is available under parent component. Okay, so in the parent component HTML you can go, so this is the lightning button. Okay, toggle component. So based on this, whether I need to show the child component or not, I am deciding. అర్థమవుతుందా? Based on this toggle component, what it does in the parent HTML toggle component, always by default it will show the child component. Why? Because we are showing the default value as true. Okay, it is meeting the criteria here. So by default LWC colon if child component is show child is true, we are showing the child component data. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? By default it will show the life cycle child component. Okay, so as soon as when I click on this toggle component, okay, it will make a show child variable as false. Okay, when I, if you can see here, when I click on the show hide life component, see ఏమైంది ఇక్కడ, before means it's a true, by default value is true. After assigning the value, what we are assigning, when we click on this toggle component, we are assigning false value. That means we are hiding the show child. That means removing from the DOM. Okay, అర్థమైందా? See here, that is removed. You are not showing that cycle, there is a cycle with increase button, right? Child component is not showing. That means child component is disconnected. Okay, when you disconnect the component from the DOM, at the time this disconnected callback will call. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా? సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ if I click on it again, now it will show. Okay, connected callback, constructor connected callback, render callback, and it will show the life cycle. అర్థమవుతుందా? So when I click on the show again, initial value is false, I mean show child is false. When we click on this button, it is changed to true. When it is true, automatically this constructor connected callback will call and render callback will call. At the time this disconnected callback will never call. So when we click on again it, now it is true, right? Show child. When I click on the show child again, what it will happen, it will remove the child component from the DOM. So it will call the disconnected. Okay, it will call the disconnected callback. అర్థమైంది ఇక్కడ నేను చెప్పింది? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? సో ఈచ్ లైఫ్ సైకిల్ హుక్ ఎప్పుడు కాల్ అవుతుందో చెప్తున్నా. ఓకే, చైల్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్ రిమూవ్ అయినప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తుంది, డిస్కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ కాల్ అవుతుంది. అదే షో చేసినప్పుడు, చైల్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్ షో చేసినప్పుడు డిస్కనెక్టెడ్ కాల్ బ్యాక్ కాల్ అవ్వదు. ఓకే, అర్థమైందా? సో when we increase the value, automatically which call it will call? It will call render callback. Always when value changes on the UI, render callback will call. Okay, అర్థమైందా? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? ప్లీజ్ రెస్పాండ్. ఇది నెక్స్ట్, I created a one contact tab, like how it will be displaying the records from the UI. Okay, so to get the records from the database and show it in the UI, there is a one example. When I click on, when I provide the input, based on that input field, it will search the contact from the database and it will show it on the UI. While clicking on that any one of the contact record, it will show the respective contact details. అర్థమైందా? That is the scenario. So here we used apex controller as well as wire method to handle this scenario. So the scenario is contact search. Okay, so this is a one of the lightning tab. Okay, how do you create? You need to go to the home. Okay, click on these tabs. So here go for tabs, click on these tabs. Okay, so here if you want to create a tab for any lightning component, so there will be a lightning component tabs. So here click on new and search for which component you are going to generate. For example, I'm creating a tab for contact search. Okay, this is a LWC component, contact search. So in the LWC component, in the targets, you need to mention lightning underscore tab. So then only that component will be available under lightning tab creation. Okay, so tab now same already I gave. Okay, contact, same likewise. So you need to give like this and save it. Just you need to give the tab style. Just I'm canceling this one. Why? Because already I created one lightning tab. Okay, this is the contact search lightning tab. So tab name and component, the style I gave presenter. Okay, tab style. So then after tab created, what I did, I went to application. So under app manager, go to app manager. Here SFDC training, open the specific application. What are the application that you want to add this particular tab, whether it is a sales console, service console. So here my requirement is, so I added this contact search tab under SFDC training application. Edit this, edit the application. So under navigation items, so I added this contact search tab. Okay, అర్థమైందా? Same likewise, if you want to go for example, If you have anything like uh, sales console, okay. So here also if you want you can able to add. If you want to show for different application, you need to open the respective application and go to the navigation tabs and add the navigation items. Click on this navigation items, contact search. So there will be a contact search. You need to click on here. It will be added here and click on save. Okay, it will be saved into the respective application. Same thing I added for SFDC training. Here you can see when I click on this contact search, what I displayed. So this this is a lightning card. Okay, in this lightning card, the title is contact search. Okay, title is contact search and search employee. So here, let me take. So what are the components I created as part of that requirement? I created. There will be a contact search LWC component. In the LWC component, what I did, I added lightning input. Okay, so lightning input is the search contact. So I made it as employee. I will rename it to contact. Okay, so what it will happen, there will be one input field. In the input field we are keeping the search value. Okay, based on whatever the value that you keep in the input field, it will hold the on change. Okay, handle change. So what is the handle change here? In the search JS file, contact search JS file, you can see we are storing the search value in search key. Okay, there is a variable we declared. Okay, by default it is a empty. So as soon as when you keep the, when you provide the input value, the input value stored in the search key. Finally, when we click on this search button, there will be a button, right? Search contact. Okay, so lightning button label name is search. Okay, you can see right here, this is the search button. As soon as, so this is a contact search, and what is the input value? Search contact. So let me refresh this. Control Shift R. So input label name changed, right? So here if you keep any input value something, I'm typing Adesh. Okay, so what it will do, that input value stored in the input value stored in the search key. Okay, so finally what I'm doing, when I click on the search button, so we have search button, right? In the HTML we have a search button, lightning button search. So what is the action it will call? Search contact. There will be a on click. So in the JS file we have search contact. There is a function. So inside this function we are calling one method called search contacts. Okay, so this is the search contact is the apex method. Okay, search contact is the apex method. So you need to import the value like this from the apex method, at the rate salesforce slash apex slash apex name dot method name. So contact controller is a one of the apex class. In this apex class we have method called search contacts. Okay, we have a method called search contacts. So you can see there is a contact controller. You can see, right, in the RI enabled catchable equal to true. Okay, always what it will find. So input value is the search key. Search key I'm passing to contact object. Here return select ID, first name, last name, email, phone, department from contact, where last name like. So always the search string you should mention like in this percentage. Okay, so whatever the value before and after, in between any keys matches. Okay, any keys matches that respective last name and first name, it will return the contact records. Up to how many records? 20 records. Okay, the input key matches with last name and first name, either last name or first name. Okay, so what are all the contacts available with that input key, it will fetch and show in the UI. Okay, so just the return type is list of contacts. Return type is list of contacts. So here final what we are doing, final we are getting the result based on this input search key. So in this method for then result, this dot contacts we are assigning this the result which we are getting from the apex class. Okay, so while fetching the result, if you get any errors, that will be catch under catchy. Okay, అర్థమైందా, console dot error. This is default syntax to display the result. Okay, అర్థమవుతుందా? So if somebody asks, you need to mention this one, like same thing, search contact. In the search contact, what we are passing, input variable we are passing search contact, search contacts. For the search contacts, what is the value that we are passing? Search key colon that input value, this dot search key. So in this, finally what will have, we have then from this we'll get, through then we can able to get the result. Okay, this is a default syntax, result dot result equal to arrow. Okay, so this is a default syntax, you need to remember this dot contacts equals to result. Okay, అర్థమైందా? So dot, if any error occurs, we can track by using the catchy. Okay, error equals to forward slash, so console log dot error, this error we need to mention. Okay, console dot error. So this will be like this. అర్థమైందా? Always you need to use then in the dot, then you will get the result. Okay, so final result you are assigning to this array variable is contacts. Okay, finally you are iterating in the, where is that html here? So in the, if contacts are true, you are iterating by using for each loop contacts. So each and every value, so we need to identify it as key is contact.id. We are displaying first name comma last name. Okay, so for this first name and last name we are keeping one button. Okay, this is called a, means it will take it as a url. Okay, so it will take it as a url. By using on click, what will happen? Select contact. Okay, అర్థమైందా? So when we click on this select contact, so what is the method, what is the logic that we have written while clicking on this select contact? So in this select contact you can see select contact, what I'm doing, this dot selected contact id, event dot target dot dataset dot id. Okay, so this will come from always from the list variable you need to get the value, like, so here data id, right? Data dot id. Okay, in the anchor tag we are mentioned data hyphen id equal to contact dot id. So when we, if you want to fetch the data from this particular record, when you select the contact, you need to fetch like the selected contact id is event dot target dot dataset dot id. అర్థమైందా? అరేలో నుంచి మనం ఐడిని ఫెచ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. ఓకే, this is the syntax for getting the record id while clicking on this any one of the record. Okay, so we are fetching selected contact id that will be stored under selected contact id variable. Now go to the html. So finally what we are doing, we are passing this selected contact id to the contact details. There is a one child component, there is a one child component. So that will be, this selected contact id will be stored in the record id. Record id. Now let me go to the contact details. When I click on this js, so here what I'm doing, just get record. So there is a ui record api. By using that, by using ui record api, I will get the get record. Okay, so for this get record, what I'm passing, just I'm passing the record id. The record id is nothing but selected contact id. So that is a @api. Okay, here we are passing the value from parent to child and displaying the data. ఓకే, సో పేరెంట్ నుంచి ఏం పంపిస్తున్నాం, కాంటాక్ట్ ఐడిని పంపిస్తున్నాం. ఈ కాంటాక్ట్ ఐడిని బై యూజింగ్ వైర్ మెథడ్, ఓకే, గెట్ రికార్డ్. ఓకే, సో by default, to display the data using wire method, we need to use get record. We need to use get record lightning UI record API. By using this lightning UI record API, we can able to get the current record based on the ID. So that record ID we are passing dollar record ID. Okay, this means the contact ID which we selected, that we are passing to wire method and showing the fields. Okay, so it will fetch the, without writing any apex, based on this ID. Okay, based on this record ID, it will fetch the record from, by using get record, and show it in the contact variable. Okay, and it will show it in the contact variable. You can see here we don't have anything, just at the rate wire method we are calling directly this get record. For this get record, just you are passing the record ID as well. What are all the fields that you need to show it in the UI? So the fields are, they're all constant fields. Okay, first name, last name, email, phone, department. Okay, for these fields we are mentioning these constant fields which we required. So based on this current record ID, so it will fetch all these first name and last name, email, phone, department fields and show it in the UI. So in the UI, contact details, if you go to the HTML, you can see, right? If contact.data, okay, contact.data, then show these details. What is the first name? Contact.data dot, okay, data dot fields dot first name dot value. First name dot first name lo what is the value we are storing. Okay, same last name ki contact dot data dot fields dot last name dot value. Email contact dot data dot fields dot email dot value. Same for phone department. అర్థమైంది ఇది? ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, జస్ట్ మనం సెలెక్టెడ్ అకౌంట్ రికార్డ్ ఐడిని చైల్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్కి పాస్ చేసి వైర్ మెథడ్ యూజ్ చేసి ఆ రికార్డు యొక్క ఫీల్డ్స్ని గెట్ చేసుకొని డిస్ప్లే చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, కాంటాక్ట్ డాట్ డేటా డాట్ ఫీల్డ్స్ డాట్ లాస్ట్ నేమ్ డాట్ వాల్యూ. ఓకే, వీ నీడ్ టు డిస్ప్లే దోస్ values for each and every field. So we are doing like this. So finally, these contact details are data. So these are all the fields we are passing. Okay, so all this information will be stored under contact variable. Okay, this contact variable we are referring in the HTML. So contact.data, if contact object have any data, then only it will show this remaining details, otherwise it won't show any data. Okay, so now let me search those records here. See here what I'm doing, I'm giving just input, just I'm giving what is the input, Bandi. Okay, so by using this name, is there any contacts are existing in the system or not, it will search. Okay, what happened? So the records are not coming. So is there any issue in the, so here search string we are passing and method is search contacts. We'll see in the So there will be a mismatch. See here, I have used search contact here, but in the HTML, how it will be handled, we need to verify. So here, search contact, here C is the capital letter. Okay, search contact, CONCT. So case sensitive, right? As I said earlier, always in JavaScript, it will follow the case sensitive. Whatever the values that we are passing, same exact value, it should match. Otherwise, it won't return the result. So here, what is the issue? Can anyone tell? ఇక్కడ సి అనేది క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్. Now let me refresh this page. Control Shift R. So what I'm doing here, just I'm passing Bundy. Okay. So input search key is Bundy. So based on this input variable, is there any contacts are existing or not? Either first name and last name. Search it. So there are how many records found? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Either first name or last name. How many records are found? There are four records found. 4 records were displayed here. So through for loop, we are displaying here. So for this, each and every record, by using anchor tag, we have one function. For example, when I click on this Anasuya Bundy, what will happen? It will show. So when I click on this Anasuya Bundy, it is calling the child component. That is called contact details. Okay. So what is the first name? Ansuya. Last name Bundy. Email. So for this record, we don't have the email data. Okay. Email, phone, department. Okay. That is the reason. So those fields are empty. అర్థమైందా? సో ఆ ఫీల్డ్స్ మనం ఎలా చేసాం? జస్ట్ కాంటాక్ట్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇన్ ద JS file. Just there is a constant variable. We declared what are all the fields that we required: first name, last name, email, phone, department. So these fields where we are getting from first name, from the Salesforce schema contact dot first name, last name, schema dot contact dot last name, and email, Salesforce schema contact dot email, phone, and department. So all these fields will be stored under fields constant. Okay. So here in the while method, we are passing current record ID and what are all the fields that we required. Okay. So the fields which we required is first name, last name, email, phone, department. So then how we are displaying the data in the UI? In the contact details HTML. So if contact dot data, if contact have any data, then only it will display. So for the first name, we are getting the data from contact dot data dot fields dot first name dot value. Okay. Here we are not doing any apex code at the rate wire method. Just we are passing wire method by using this. How is it possible? By using get record element. Okay. So by using lightning UI record API. So lightning UI record API, you can able to fetch the, by passing the record ID, you can able to fetch the data. Okay. అర్థమైందా చెప్పింది? ఏం చేసాం మనం? సింపుల్గా ఇన్పుట్ వాల్యూ ఒకటి ఇచ్చాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ ఐ సర్చ్ with B, how many records? There are multiple records. Okay. Bani Prasad. Okay. When you click on this, So what is the first name, last name, department, and their email? Okay. So we have actions on remove also. We can able to perform some action. We can able to remove this result. There are different kinds of scenarios that you can able to apply. Okay. On remove of this particular search key, what will happen? Automatically search result also get removed. Those kind of logics we can able to implement. Okay. For example, if I search with Ashok and click on the search, this input is passing to the apex. Through the apex we are getting the contact details. Okay. And we are showing here. Once we click on this contact, we are calling one more component to show the details of this particular contact. To show the details of this particular contact. When I click on this Bandi Ashok, what it will show? This Ashok related contact information it will show. First name, last name, email, what is the phone, what is the department. అర్థమైందా? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? సో సేమ్ ఇదే మాదిరిగా మీరు డిఫరెంట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేనేం చేశాను, జస్ట్ ఆన్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ద ఇన్పుట్ వాల్యూ. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వెన్ ఐ రిమూవ్ దిస్ input value, automatically this search result should be hide. Okay. Contact details also should be hide. Okay. You need to write that logic. Okay. When I clear the search result, what should be happened? Okay. అర్థమైందా? So those kind of scenarios you need to implement. Okay. So I will send you the documentation, as well as we didn't discuss about LDS examples. Okay. For the LDS I will give example scenarios. Okay. You can practice those things. అర్థమైందా? సో మోస్ట్ ప్రాబబ్లీ మనకు దీంతో LWC కంప్లీట్ అయింది. ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. బై యూజింగ్ లైట్నింగ్ ఇన్పుట్ ఫీల్డ్స్. ఓకే. విత్ ప్రాపర్ అలైన్మెంట్, ప్రాపర్ CSS alignment. I will give one example, then it will close. So here you need to practice. So these three scenarios, whatever we discussed today, you need to practice. I did not give any example about LDS, Lightning Data Service. Okay. I will give the examples through documentation. You can practice and test it. I will ask day after tomorrow, like on Friday night. Okay. Friday night or like Saturday we will have a call. In that call we will discuss. Okay. If Friday not possible, we will connect on Saturday. Okay. అర్థమైందా? ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం డిస్కస్ చేసిన ఏమన్నా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? Okay. So and for the life cycle hooks, very very important. Okay. So what is the difference between imperative and wire method? Okay. So what is LDS? What is the use of LDS? Okay. And each and every life cycle, so how it will execute. So definitely these questions are very very important in the interview point of view. That's why I shown execution also, how the each and every life cycle will work. Okay. So you can practice with different examples by taking this. Can you give an example of connected callback, connected callback, disconnected callback? Okay. So that it will give one example. You can practice that example within the Salesforce. Okay. So likewise you need to think and you need to get the different scenarios and implement within the Salesforce. Okay. అర్థమవుతుందా? Okay. Thank you team. Bye.